So the temperatures are going to start ratcheting up here, and that's when my wife, tends to walk over to the thermostat and turns it down, right, to keep our home a little more comfortable.
I do the same thing at our house. Proper insulation can help you beat the heat. USA Insulation can retrofit attics and walls for greater comfort and energy efficiency, which is the big deal. It's not just brand new homes we're talking about here.
And Todd Travaille, they're here to talk about the benefits and explain a little bit more about how that works.
Nice to meet you.
How which works?
Well, is it the wives that always turn it down in the summertime, or do you see the guys doing it too?
You know, I think I'm better off not offering an opinion.
That sounds good to me, Dan.
So tell us, I want to start with the attic insulation because that really helps to keep a home cool. How does it work?
It does. Well, we've been on kind of a 4-year mission to educate people about how insulation relates to comfort, particularly in the summertime. Most people think about insulation in terms of winter and keeping their house warm. What they don't realize is that insulation is designed to do one thing, and primarily one thing, and that's to control the transfer of heat. And in the wintertime, you're trying to keep the heat in the home, but in the summertime, you've got temperatures in your attic that reach 130 to 150 degrees. And since heat always moves from where it's warm to where it's cold, that heat is coming down into your home. And it's the insulation that provides the resistance that keeps that heat from coming in.
So what is the proper level? I don't think I've ever been into my attic crawling
Really?
around. I don't believe.
You gotta get up in that crawl space.
So what is the proper level? What should a homeowner be looking for?
Well, we qualify insulation in terms of R value. R is basically for resistance. And we talk about this part of the country having a minimum resistance level of R49.
I think this is kind of what my attic looks like.
Yes,
right.
that would be not good.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Congratulations,
that's great news
Mike.
in the morning.
Just a quick example. If you look at that picture, the tops of those ceiling joists are 5.5 inches above your drywall ceiling.
Yeah.
To get it to an R49, you would probably want to have somewhere in the area of 18 to 20 total inches of insulation.
Wow, and in some cases, that other picture, it was probably barely a couple of inches.
Yes.
What about this one?
Same thing. This is just a different type of insulation. These are some of the older homes.
But still, those joists are exposed.
And this is what you want it to look like.
This is what it should look like. It's a stretch, but in the way back there, you can kind of see a marker that we use when we insulate attics. And that helps the crew determine that they're putting it at the proper depth.
So when you go into an attic where you haven't been yet, how often does it look like this versus the other pictures where we saw the insulation not as high?
It's very seldom that we get called out to see an attic that's well insulated. That's probably 5% of the time.
And I imagine I have a problem, as you were talking about earlier, when you have that extra level to your home. I notice our bedroom seems to get hotter than our family room and the kitchen and the other spaces on that main floor. It's the heat transfer, right? You want to touch on that, Todd?
Sure. Because the hot air is trapped in the attic during the summertime, what's happening is that if you don't have enough insulation to create resistance to keep that heat away from the living space, that heat is attempting to move to where it's cooler. It's trying to penetrate down, and usually that's the top level in multi-level homes.
What about walls?
The walls, that's another thing.
This, to me, is the fascinating part about retrofitting a home. What kind of, are you ripping the drywall out and putting in the insulation, or how does that work?
We have an alternative to that. That's what most people think of. Most homes are built with fiberglass batting put in the walls, and then people assume that if they're going to make an improvement, that what they have to do is rip that off, tear the old one out, put new in, put it back up. What we offer is an alternative. It's called injection foam. It is a product that we can install into the cavities of a home from the outside of the home without having to take the walls off.
So how do you do it? Is there just
very carefully?
I assume it's carefully done, but is there a small hole that's cut somewhere?
It depends on what type of siding or covering the home has. In a normal home, most homes now have vinyl siding. What we can do is remove a row or two of vinyl siding. We drill a 2-inch hole in the cavity from the outside. We take a hose and insert it in that. There's a method by which we work both down and up, but we'll fill that cavity with foam. It's a non-expanding foam, which is different from what most people are familiar with.
The stuff in a spray can.
Yes, This is the type that doesn't expand, so you don't have to worry about it literally blowing your walls off. And then after we've done each cavity, we put a plug in the hole and put the siding back
So
up.
you're
and
talking
when
about a
we're done-
hole just about like that.
Itty bitty.
2 inch.
Small,
And then you
2
put
inch.
the siding back over and nobody ever knows you were there.
Correct.
What do you hear from homeowners about their energy savings, right? This bill went
Well,
from here to
And
here
that's the bottom line.
after
Yeah.
you were there and did your work.
Well, it varies in every home because there are so many factors that affect that. But typically, people report savings anywhere from 20 to even 50%.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Are you
and
serious?
I have a home that has a lot of windows, so I guess getting the proper insulation on the walls and in the attic is probably important, isn't it?
It is. And overall, in terms of energy efficiency of the home, Department of Energy has done several studies, and their conclusion is that roughly 50% of your energy is lost through the combination of the walls and the attic. About another 15% is lost through various cracks and crevices around doors, and only about 15% goes out through the windows.
Oh, that's not bad.
No.
So the insulation is, so what is it, the evaluation part of it? So if I realize, as I said, I haven't been in my attic, but I know my bedroom gets hot, so I imagine it might make sense here. What is that first step? The evaluation, how do I know what you would need to do to get my energy efficiency up?
We do come and do a thorough evaluation. You know, ironically, if you look at the two of us here, I'm the one who gets to go out and go into the attics. When I
Is
go
he
into
the brains behind the operation?
Absolutely.
Dan?
Yes. Or brain, I think, in this case.
The one brain.
Yeah.
When I go into an attic, I'm going to spend probably 30 minutes up there. I take a camera with me. I take photographs of everything that I find up there that I think is of significance. We look at insulation, we look at ventilation, and we look for areas of air leakage. And as a general rule, what I will do is take the photographs, and then when I'm done, I come down and put them on a tablet and show them to the homeowner and go over the things that I found so I can explain
What's
what-
going
Well, the
on.
homeowner
up
wants
there.
to see that. They want
Yes.
the proof of that.
Right.
And here's a special offer. If you mention the Morning Blend, 25% off when making an appointment for an evaluation. That goes through August 31st. So
But
you
I
got a
think it
little
makes,
bit of time.
if you're going to do it now and start saving the money on your energy. Stop throwing those
Absolutely.
dollars away. USA Insulation, this is an Omaha company. These guys are in Omaha. So you can reach them at 402-592-1718. And we were showing you the website during the visit. It's usainsulation.net/Nebraska. Todd, it's nice to meet you. And Dan, nice to see you as
thanks,
well.
guys.
Thank
A lot
you
of
very
good
much for
Appreciate your
having
time
us.
today.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming.
Chickens well insulated. We learned from them as well.
All right.